Don't miss the 3-hour celebration of episode 300 of WDW News Tonight, live at 9 p.m. on February 27th on WDWNT TV. This is News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss of WDWNT.com. Please like this video, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell to make sure you never miss the latest from the Disney theme parks all around the world. Here now the news for February 24th, 2025. As the final areas of the Swiss Family Treehouse reopen, the Crow's Nest section is once again available for guests at the Magic Kingdom. The Swiss Family Treehouse in Adventureland closed back on November 18th of 2024 for what was supposed to be a month-long refurbishment. Most areas of the treehouse were covered in green scrim, so guests could not see the work taking place. After 1 month, however, the treehouse failed to reopen and remained closed instead until December 23rd. And when the treehouse did reopen, the construction work was still not complete. Several areas of the walkthrough, including the upstairs crow's nest, were still closed off or wrapped in scrims. The Treehouse's page on the official Walt Disney World website also still has a construction notice, even though the posted end date has not been updated from December of 2024. In this section of the attraction, the wooden rails on either side of the walkways have been coated in a fresh layer of paint, and the ropes across from the rail are clean. A new metal plate has been added to the floor near the corner, perhaps to keep guests from tripping on the edge of the walkway. The upstairs room of the Swiss Family Treehouse offers some of the best views of the Magic Kingdom through the treetops. Once guests reach the top of the staircase, they can once again approach the actual crow's nest. And like many of the other refurbished sections, everything inside has been refreshed or repainted. With the reopening, most of the work of the Swiss Family Treehouse is now complete. However, 1 or 2 areas around the trees still have green scrim around them. A dumpster is flying over Big Thunder Mountain Railroad once again as construction continues on the Magic Kingdom attraction. That's right, Dumpo, the flying dumpster is back. The dumpster suspended from a crane was visible all the way from Adventureland. Meanwhile, on the ground, there are clear and green tarps in front of the Q building. Tarps appear to be covering a piece of themed mine machinery and the surrounding rockwork. Visible under the green tarp are some brown metal poles, possibly for scaffolding. The tarps are connected to a nearby roof just under the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad sign. Much of the coaster track was removed and scaffolding has gone up in its place, and we saw crew members on some of the scaffolding down by the water. Some of the rockwork in this area has been torn away. It looks like there's now fresh concrete below the scaffolding. After the rockwork is rebuilt, crew members will paint it to blend with the reddish-brown rocks of the existing mountain. Around the mountain is a tunnel with scaffolding leading out of it. Chains hang from a hook at the top of the tunnel, and this is where we saw a new piece of track laid last month. Several crew members were at work at this section in the back of the attraction, and there are new yellow tarps hanging over the scaffolding. More rockwork was torn out of this area so crew members can work on the inner structure. Of course, several waved at us and made hand hearts. This has been the friendliest construction crew in the wilderness. From another angle, we could see a large metal panel against a wall of rock. This may be covering a hole in said rockwork. More scaffolding has gone up at the back of the Wild West town of Tumbleweed around a high stretch of track. There's also scaffolding around a nearby wagon and next to the dry goods store. We checked on the gnarled tree at one end of the town and noticed the possums are missing. There are usually a few possum figures hanging by their tails, but they have been removed and the tree has been cut open. More props were removed from the barn as well, and props were tagged early on, some in red and some in green to mark whether they were staying or going. Of course, if they're removed, that doesn't mean they're gone forever. They just might be getting cleaned up or repaired. When we next passed by the barn, several crew members were gathered there. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad will reopen with a little bit of new magic next year, or Disney said some new bells and whistles. Construction seems to be part of the expansion of the Magic Kingdom, with the adjacent Cars area set to begin construction soon, as well as beyond Big Thunder, the Villains Land, which may begin construction just next month. This all means we are likely just weeks away from the closure of the Rivers of America, that being the Riverboat and Tom Sawyer Island, but no official date has been given yet. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad will not reopen until sometime next year. Sleepy Hollow Refreshments at Magic Kingdom has received a new corporate sponsor, and all of the location signage has been completely changed to reflect that update. According to the many new signs now present at Sleepy Hollow, the quick service location is now sponsored by Coca-Cola. The signs across the roof have all been changed to add the Coca-Cola word mark below the name. But instead of just using the old sign and updating it, they actually get an all-new sign that is actually a nicer quality than what was there previously. For comparison, here is the old sign. The Headless Horseman icon used to be just painted on there, but now it's embossed metal. In addition to the largest sign on the roof, multiple new hanging signs have been added near the ordering area. The signs advertise some of the items on the menu at Sleepy Hollow, including beverages, funnel cakes, and waffles. And a new sign sticking out from the left corner of the building tells guests to enter from the side. Apart from the large sign on the roof, the smaller signs above the brick archways have also been updated. The ordering windows have received new stickers, as well as the pickup windows, which should make it easier for people to figure out where they're supposed to go. After years of being missing from the attraction, the female ice skater has returned to the first scene of It's a Small World at the Magic Kingdom. After years of being missing from the attraction, the female ice skater has returned to the first scene of It's a Small World at the Magic Kingdom. Many of these have seen mechanical issues over the years and have been removed and placed back after refurbishment. However, this particular ice skater has been missing for quite some time. Recently, the figure was added back to the ride, although unmoving. In her previous state, she spun around in circles as the other figure skates around the rink. While there are reports that the ice skater was moving once it returned, we did not actually catch her in action, but this joins a number of other figures that have either returned or been fixed in the last few weeks, including the RCA dog at the exit of Space Mountain and Chum on the seas with Nemo and Friends. This program is brought to you by our official travel agent sponsor, Be Our Guest Vacations. Your dream vacation begins with Be Our Guest and their concierge team of expert vacation planners. Head on over to beourguestvacations.com/WDWNT, and their team will design your next magical vacation, from the Walt Disney World and the Disneyland Resorts to the Disney Cruise Line to Adventures by Disney and more. They're also able to book unforgettable VIP tours where you and your group can experience the ultimate park day. And the best part is their concierge services are 100% free. Stop hiding in the back of the room. Why does everyone have to do this now? So book today. If you don't believe me or the strange people that hide in the darkness of this room, take it from our viewers. Christy Case wrote, Michelle Anderson was super helpful and helped plan each aspect of our vacation and made the planning process so easy and smooth. Amanda Matthias said our planning experience with Michelle was excellent. She helped us every step of the way. She was very knowledgeable about Disney. She was an absolute pleasure to work with. Michelle will be helping us plan our next Disney vacation as well, a cruise. And Mark David Garcia let us know that life can be hectic, and planning a vacation to Walt Disney World is a tall task if you're not up to date with the ever-changing landscape. Lainey was our guardian angel who guided us through each step to a fantastic experience. Lainey was amazing, and I don't know when she sleeps, but the service you'll get is unparalleled. She'll be who I call for our next adventure. I also want to mention Carousel of Products. We got those 3 new button-up shirts available right now. We got Spaceship Earth at sunset available for you, which, as you might imagine, looks like Spaceship Earth at that time of day. There's also 50 Years of Space, which celebrates the 50th anniversary of Space Mountain, including every space mountain around the world on it, which this shirt was supposed to come for our Promising Tomorrow's event, but it's a little late. But nonetheless, better late than never. And last but not least, we're stooping to some cheap 3D tricks with this last shirt, which should arrive in time for you to say goodbye to Muppet Vision 3D at Disney's Hollywood Studios. All 3 of these are available now. This is the first time we've ever done this, but there's essentially a package. And if you order the package, it saves you $15 on all 3 shirts. And if you're a WIGS member, you still get to, on top of that, enter your discount code as well. And you can join WIGS at patreon.com/WDWNT. But the shirt's available along with your pre-order of your Sunny Eclipse plush and more at carouselofproducts.com. The procedures for guests taking part in early entry or waiting for rope drop at EPCOT have now changed, with lines further back in the park and separate lines for each type of guest. The new rope drop line for guests looking to enter EPCOT just as it opens in the morning now begins a little further back inside the park. Signs placed in front of Spaceship Earth direct guests taking part in the Disney Resort Guest Early Entry benefit. They're instructed to stay on the right side. The new procedures and waiting area are likely in anticipation of Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind getting its standby queue this week. Disney may be anticipating large crowds vying to reach the ride before the wait gets high. Maybe, I would say definitely. The right side path around Spaceship Earth is blocked by black stanchions, with only a small section left open on the far right. Cast members were stationed holding more directional signs near the stanchions. The signs point guests to the small entrance around the right side. The only guests allowed to enter from the right are those Disney Resort Hotel guests or those with early morning breakfast reservations. After being checked at this entrance, guests are free to enter Epcot and enjoy the early entry offerings. While the park was not yet officially open, regular day guests were allowed to hold spots in line near the front of Spaceship Earth. Spaceship Earth is listed as one of the attractions available for early entry, so the non-early entry guests are kept outside of the main queue until the official opening time. Guests without the special benefit who are planning to rope drop once the park officially opens are instructed to wait on the left side of Spaceship Earth. The line for rope drop is held near the Epcot Guest Relations building on the left. Guests were not allowed to get all the way to the entrance of the Connections Cafe. But by the time our reporters arrived, most of the walkway between Spaceship Earth and Guest Relations was filled, with guests already waiting to enter. The stanchions were actually removed from this side a few minutes early, and when we were waiting, the line was allowed to enter the rest of Epcot at 9:56 a.m. instead of the 10 a.m. posted opening. It was a late opening this weekend because of the half marathon, of course, but Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind will be added to the roster of attractions guests can ride during early entry at Epcot. On the same day, it becomes available via standby, which will be tomorrow, February 25th. That's also the same day that Tiana's Bayou Adventure at the Magic Kingdom will go standby as well. Heading back to Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, we're seeing a lot of prep at the attraction for said changes, including the return of the extended queue. You may remember this extended queue from the early days. Even though there's been a virtual queue, they have used this. The reasoning here is, honestly, when they started converting the Universe of Energy mostly into a queue and load area, because the rest of the ride is out in that new gravity building. Imagineering always knew there wasn't a lot of interior queue in that building, at least not as much as they would need. They always knew that. There were some plans to use nearby buildings for extended queue. That never happened. I know at one point they were going to use the Body Wars show building. That was talked about. And that's why the Play Pavilion wasn't allowed to use the actual attraction show buildings. All of the attractions were contained within the dome portion of that. That was really the reason why. But then they didn't end up doing that anyway. And maybe that's why there's been a virtual queue all this time. But nonetheless, the switchbacks are set up just across from the attraction. I know some people have asked, why don't they build a permanent one here? And the answer is legally they cannot. Because of the need for egress. There's a large gate back there, so you can't put something permanent in this space, and you do have to leave some space for passage. So that's why, in case you're wondering. I've seen a lot of bad takes on the internet. You know, sometimes Disney doesn't do what they should. There are lots of times where that happens. I think too often, now every time, without any information whatsoever, too many people jump to conclusions. I'm looking at you, everyone on TikTok, who claims to be an expert on things. Too often we jump to conclusions without asking anyone what the reasoning might be. So what we like to do at WDWNT is not assume. We actually try to ask people who would know and get the answer and then give you that exact answer so as not to put a lot of misinformation out into the world. But either way. On top of this, they have also made changes inside the attraction at the exit of the pre-show, which is usually a bit of a cluster, pardon my French. They have decided to put stanchions there as well, which I assume they think will help. And at the very least, it will probably allow them to put more people into the post-pre-show area because they'll be snaking through that, but also to avoid people fighting when the next group comes through and people think they're being cut off. It'll be helpful. So Guardians is very ready for its standby queue starting tomorrow. We, of course, will be there to tell you how it goes. So stay tuned. It might be a disaster. We'll have to wait and see. Metal roofing tiles have been partially installed as the covered seating project continues at Woody's Lunchbox in Toy Story Land at Hollywood Studios. One of the main complaints about the land has been the lack of shade and seating, especially at Woody's Lunchbox. Until the Roundup Rodeo Barbecue opened in 2023, Woody's Lunchbox was the only dining venue in the land and had no covered seating. Recently, work that began back in January of 2022 has continued with the addition of several poles in the area. We now know that these are in fact shade structures that the roofing has been installed atop the poles. While the roofing is still incomplete, there is exposed wiring, leading us to believe there will at least be lighting, if not more, attached to these ceilings. We'll have to wait and see. Although behind planter walls, it also appears that a third shade structure will be erected soon as poles similar in nature have been constructed. Having several shade areas will provide even more seating for guests visiting Toy Story Land and Woody's Lunchbox. This is also an expanded seating area. Some of this was bushes and area guests couldn't sit in. So it will be more seating and also some shaded seating as well. Again, this project began with the first awning installed back in early 2022, and we are still going. Woody's Lunchbox has remained open and operational during all this time. Today's show is brought to you by DVC Resale Market, who's doing their annual Red Hot Deals event. It's ending soon on February 28th. Now's the last chance to buy and save up to 10% on DVC contracts, one of the best deals ever for Vacation Club. If you've rented points and gotten a taste of the DVC lifestyle of a Disney World vacation, you might be thinking it's time to jump in and join the club. You can save thousands of dollars when you buy a resale contract. Contact our friends at DVC Resale Market to find out how much they can save you. Go to dvcresalemarket.com/WDWNT for more information. That's, of course, how we became members. Our Polynesian contract is only, it's a resale contract, and we paid half the price. So I highly, highly recommend. In celebration of the 30th anniversary of the Indiana Jones adventure at Disneyland Park, 2 new limited edition pins are available. We found both of the pins at the Disney's Pin Traders in the downtown Disney district, but they're likely also available at other locations around property. The limited edition Indiana Jones Adventure 30th anniversary pin is $22.99. The front of the pin features the doors to the Chamber of Destiny. This pin is a limited edition of 3,000. The other pin is a Magic Key exclusive. It's $22.99 as well, and it features Mara at the center of the pin and 2 snakes on either side. And above Mara is the logo and the text for 30 years between the 2 snakes. This is a limited edition of just 2,000. The Indiana Jones Adventure originally opened on March 3rd, 1995. The attraction is scheduled to close for routine maintenance on Monday, March 17th, just a few weeks after said anniversary. Disney has finally shared when they think the attraction will be reopening. That date is going to be April 24th, 2025 is the last day it'll be closed. It'll be open again on April 25th. I have heard rumblings of what they're doing. I'm not ready to share it yet, maybe on the next show, but something exciting might be happening. I don't know if I believe it, but we'll talk about it next show. Disney has remained true to their words, and the red car trolley is now parked at Disney California Adventure as a photo op. One of the red car trolleys is now parked on Buena Vista Street as a stationary photo opportunity. It will not operate as an attraction again. The fate of the rest of the fleet is unknown, but the red car trolley barn backstage is being demolished to make way for the Avengers campus expansion. The expansion will double the footprint of the land, adding 2 new attractions in Avengers Infinity Defense and Stark Flight Lab. The red car trolley opened in 2012 as part of the $1 billion reimagining of DCA. It used to ferry guests between Buena Vista Street and Sunset Boulevard with stops in between. The trolley's last day of operation was February 8th of 2025. You can relive that with us on the WDWNT TV channel. We have a full vlog of that day for you to enjoy. Disney has made several updates to the website for the upcoming 2025 Disney California Adventure Food and Wine Festival, including the list of artists who will be appearing, the full culinary demonstration schedule, and the schedule of all the live music. The Food and Wine Festival will run February 28th through April 21st, 2025. We, of course, will be there starting this Friday to bring it all to you. One of the special offerings is, again, those artist signings, and now the full list of names, dates, and times has been released. They'll be on each Saturday and Sunday of the festival. The times and locations are available on our website. The festival website notes that each special artist will only sign their own merchandise, which must be purchased at the Disneyland Resort on the event date. No personal items will be signed, and there's a limit of 2 items per guest. As well, Disney California Adventure will be hosting cooking demonstrations from Disney chefs, visiting chefs, and festival sponsors. This full schedule is online as well. And finally, as part of the event, multiple bands have been announced to visit one of the 2 performance venues on the Palisades stage. The schedules for the live music have been divided into 2 categories based on where the performances are. The first group will be performing on the Palisades stage, which overlooks Paradise Bay. Performances on the stage will take place on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays at 3, 4, 5:30, and 6:30 p.m. The full performer lineup is also available on our website. A TikTok posted by user Keisha Ferank allegedly shows a 7-year-old child left unattended while their parents rode Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout at Disney California Adventure. The TikTok shows a stroller parked behind a wall across from the attraction. Movement is shown below a Spider-Man blanket confirming the presence of a child. The user states that the parents parked the stroller before going onto the ride. She reportedly also heard one of the parents say, "Oh, just put a chair right there to block that side off." To watch the full TikTok video, you can see it on our website. But in the comment section, Keisha states that once she and her family noticed movement in the stroller, they reported it to cast members who immediately went to the aid of the child. She also states that the security removed the parents from the ride to retrieve the child, who's supposedly 7 years old. Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout has a 40-inch height requirement, but offers the rider switch option for guests with children too small or young to ride. The safety, accessibility, and guest policies listed for the ride also state that children must be supervised at all times and that children under the age of 7 must be accompanied by a person aged 14 or older. Commenters on the video suggest that this is not a rare occurrence at Disneyland and Walt Disney World. Many guests and cast members share that this is something that allegedly happens all the time. No official statement or anything has been made by Disney. We don't know more on the story, but that's crazy. That is insane. I will say this. Some people are from parts of the world where they are more trusting, and this is not so much an issue. In America, life is different. Now, that being said, we don't know that these guests were from another country. We don't know that. They may have been from Southern California. Who knows? Either way, I don't know. Based on the fact that she overheard and they were speaking clear English, I'm going to wager a guess that they are from America. And that makes it even wilder, I think. Like, look, I know I've read a story on this show before that was a foreign guest who left their child unattended for like 3 or 4 minutes in a walkway while they were like 20 feet away, and security got called, and then the mother was upset. That happens, and I understand that. This is clearly people are just like, yeah, I want to ride this. We want to ride this together. Forget about rider swap. Just leave the kid unattended out here in the back of this former Fast Pass distribution area. It's pretty crazy. Let me know in the comments how you feel about it. People be wildin' at Disneyland. Disneyland's family-friendly Eggstravaganza, something you won't have to leave the kids unattended for. The egg hunt is returning for 2025 with new keepsake prizes. This year, the special egg search will take place from March 21st through April 25th. The activity allows guests to search high and low around Disneyland Park, California Adventure, and or the downtown Disney district for character-themed eggs that may be on a window ledge or in a nook of a doorway and beyond. This year, a new keepsake prize will be given to those who complete the hunt. The new keepsake prize is one of 6 paint-your-own character eggs, which include paint and a brush. Chip, Dale, Mickey, Minnie, the White Rabbit, and Thumper are represented on each Easter-themed egg-shaped wooden cutout, and each character comes with 4 different paint colors. You can pick up your map for $9.99 each at a sales location around the resort. Maps differ depending on if you're doing Disneyland, California Adventure, or Downtown Disney. Make sure to search for character eggs in your map's designated location. And once you have completed the search, you can return your map in exchange for one of these prizes. And don't worry, they'll let you keep the map. Also, you don't actually have to finish. They'll just give it to you anyway. For complete sales and redemption locations, you can visit our website. Always fun. I love doing these. Pixar Putt, a pop-up mini golf experience, is now open at the Pixar Place Hotel. The experience was set to open February 7th, but was delayed a week until February 11th. Pixar Putt will be at the Pixar Place Hotel through June 1st and is open daily from 10 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Tee times are available every 30 minutes. It can be booked at pixarputt.com. You can view our video of the full Pixar Putt mini golf experience right here on our channel. A new post on the Disney Cruise Line Jobs Instagram account at Disney Cruise Jobs has shared a first official look at the new Bluey character who made her debut on board the Disney Wonder back in January. The manager shared a photo of herself while standing next to a costume character of Bluey, who again debuted on board the Disney Wonder several days ago already. She shared the image with the caption, "Bluey has made her debut here on board the Disney Wonder, and we couldn't be more excited. Hooray." In the post, Bluey stands in front of a backdrop that appears to be an image of her house, the front porch from the show. It appears that the character will have a dedicated meet and greet space on board the Disney Wonder. Appropriate for the first Disney Cruise Line appearance of Bluey, the Disney Wonder is currently sailing from Australia and New Zealand for cruises ranging from 3 to 10 nights. Disney Cruise Line also previously announced that the Australia and New Zealand sailings will have Bluey experiences, but still no word on what those are. Guests will be able to meet Bluey and her sister Bingo while playing interactive games and end the day with a cheerful dance party. Disney and BBC Studios have also announced that in addition to Disney Cruise Line, Bluey will be debuting at the Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resort sometime this year. For the absolute latest on these stories and all that didn't make it into today's show, be sure to check WDWNT.com and follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. You can support the entire team behind the show and others by joining the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. Get access to exclusive content, discounted show and event tickets, and more. Special shout out to our WIGS members watching who make this show happen every week. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss saying, enjoy the rest of your today and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.